It's okay. Everything will be okay. It's okay. Daddy still loves you, even without your tip. So what happened? Maybe you got a little aggressive with your knife, maybe you dropped it on the ground, maybe you lent it to a bartender. In any case, your knife is now missing the tip. A common thing that we hear from our customers is that they feel like their knife will never be the same after something like this happens. They're always very surprised to hear that it can be very easily fixed, and it's probably one of the more common knife injuries that we see here at the shop, and probably the repair we perform the most. So in today's video, we thought we'd just go over how you can quickly and easily repair the tip of your knife and get it back to brand new. So stay tuned for that. Oh, why do I keep saying that? That's so dumb. All right, so we need to decide what equipment we're gonna need for this repair. Now, while you could perform this with a regular low grit ceramic sharpening stone, the problem with that is that these are relatively soft and they're gonna develop like really deep gouges in them. Even your like Naniwa truing stone, for instance, that is also a ceramic material, is going to have a hard time removing that much material from your stone to get those gouges out. So you will likely need a diamond plate to do something like that. And if you have one of these diamond plates, I would recommend just using that to reshape the tip of your knife. This will remain flat forever and for always. It will never develop any gouges or anything like that. So it's ideal for performing a repair such as this. We will, of course, need our sharpening progression though, because once we finish the tip repair, we're going to move through this regular sharpening progression to get the knife nice and sharp. We have here a coarse, medium, and fine grit stone in the 320, 700, and 1000 grit range. Whatever you have at home, I'm sure will suffice. Next, we're going to perform an assessment of our knives and figure out how we are going to reshape the tip. On this 240 millimeter Gyuto here made by Shun, you'll notice that it's got quite a sweeping curve or belly to the knife. So bringing the tip up and sort of continuing that sort of sweeping motion up to the tip is going to be totally possible on here. Not going to change the shape of the profile much, so that's what we'll do on this guy. On the Koretsuke, however, since these are typically a little bit of a flatter profile, they don't have as much of a sweeping motion towards the tip, we are going to actually bring the spine of the knife down to meet that cutting edge. This will keep the relatively flat profile of the Koretsuke intact, and since we're using a flat stone, we'll be able to achieve a nice straight line for our spine here as we bring the tip down. So now that we know what we're going to do to repair these, we can head over to the stones and get started. Here we are at the stones, and we're going to start by sharpening up here our Koretsuke. Now, like we stated earlier, we are going to bring the spine of this knife down to meet the cutting edge of this knife. So, as you may have guessed, we are not going to be sharpening the cutting edge, rather flipping the knife over and grinding steel down from the K-tip. Trying to keep that K-tip shape as much as we can as we grind steel down to match the tip. I'll show you a little halfway marker here just to show you my progress, but all in all, this probably took about 5 minutes on the Atoma diamond plate. Another advantage of the diamond plates is how coarse they are. They'll remove a lot of material really quickly, so that'll help things move along. It's important to note that once we do get the tip all the way matched down to the cutting edge, that you'll likely notice some very like scratchy parts to the side of your spine. So it's important to sort of round those off after the fact. And of course, as you're seeing in the video here, I'm just going to very gently grind those little sharp pieces off. And then we'll just move this knife through our regular sharpening progression, and Bob's your uncle, tip fixed. Knife number 2 we're going to work on is the 240 millimeter Gyuto from Shun, also the Koretsuke being from Shun as well. This one we're going to use a slightly different method, and that is to round the tip up to match the spine. The reason, again, we're doing this is because of the shape of the blade, and it's important to keep this shape in mind because you'll want to sort of match the shape of the blade in the strokes that you're using on your stone. So you're using kind of like these little half moon strokes as you're reshaping this tip. A little tidbit here that's helped me in the past is using sort of like a flicking motion off the back of the stone. So normally I wouldn't recommend applying pressure as you're coming back to your starting position, but when shaping the tip, it seems to be really helpful to sort of flick off, again, keeping in mind the shape of the profile as you're doing so. Coming off the stone, it just seems to really help with the shape of the tip. Again, once the tip is repaired, as you can see here, we've got a nice shape on our tip. We're just going to move through our regular sharpening progression and we're done. So there you have it, guys. Very, very simple. I hope this inspired you to go try and fix a broken tip on one of your knives. As you can probably tell, it's really not the most difficult thing in the world. A little patience and just taking your time, and anyone can achieve this repair at home. If there's anything that we didn't touch on in this video that you were hoping to get some insight on, make sure to leave a comment down below, and myself or Jake will answer you as soon as we can. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more knife-related content. And until the next video, stay sharp.